guys, Rick Shaw here on the Saturday the 20th of November 2021. We're having an absolutely magnificent morning. That sun isn't cooking us yet. It's cool. We had a nice cool night last night. That's one thing about this area, you don't really get any hot nights. Some places I've lived, especially in the States, when the sun's up until 9 o'clock at night, doesn't give it a chance to cool off. But here it's always dark around 6 or so, and things cool off very quickly. The way our house is built and the way the sun hits it, it's just not a hot house. We always got plenty of air moving through it, and it's really nice. So that's a plus. That's one of the plus things about here. Got my little buddy out. He's always got to come with me. I love it in the mornings when I wake up. It's usually a big old hug fest with the babies, and that's really nice. This time in my life is, I think, the best time so far. So I got some beautiful babies. My beautiful little daughter. I ordered some of her Christmas stuff, and she wants a doll. I bought her a while ago one of those little baby alives, and she drags that thing around everywhere. Last night on our walk, she had it in a little front sack, and for Christmas she wants another little baby alive so that it can have a buddy, and so okay. And she wants a baby buggy. And myself, I'm not in any big hurry to push them along into adulthood. I'm just not. I see some guys, they got their little 7-8-year-old girls, and they make them all up and they do all this stuff. I remember in the school here, first school she was in, the kids were going for pictures, and they put all this makeup on them, and they were going from one kid to another with the same lipstick and stuff. That really ticked me off. That ticked me off. If you have kids here and they're in school, you have to tell them not to do that, because that'll pass all kinds of problems, herpes and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of kids have that here. Morning, guys. So you have to be careful with that. But I don't want her to be. I don't want to rush her into getting up. You see these guys putting little babies in pageants and stuff. Kids don't want to do that. Kids want to play, and I'm not going to push my kids into being adults. I remember when I was a kid, I had a blast, fun playing around. Now she does her schoolwork good, and let them do their thing. Let them play, run around, be kids. We go out for our walks at nighttime. They race around the circle. They cut up, and that's a daily thing we do. And they get tired. They get in the house, and then they wind down really quick, and boop, off to bed they go. So, but magnificent day. We have these water people, just very aggravating. They don't want to let me run the valve over there. They don't have an automatic valve. They don't want to let me run it, they say, because of liability. And this guy that runs the valve, if they call him, he shows up whenever he can show up. I don't know what he does or anything about him, other than he looks like a derelict. And people here, if somebody does a really bad job and they could look bad enough, they get sorry for him and will just let him keep doing a bad job. They won't get in there and reprimand him or tell him, you could lose your job. But no, they're going to just keep, milking him. Let him do whatever the heck they want. And in the meanwhile, everybody in here suffers, the one who pays them. And that's really aggravating about here. I hope they have a vote on this association, so we can vote them the hell out. Just get them out. Get some people in there who can do the job. If that guy can't do the job, maybe that's why he's a derelict. Maybe that's why he's a poor-mouthed derelict. And I don't feel sorry for a lot of them people. Most of these people around here, there's a lot of Filipinos that don't have a lot of money, and they're happy. They're doing well, and everything seems to be okay. But this guy, if you've seen him, he's a real sad sack. And half the time, what really gets me, he'll come in here and he'll turn that valve on, and instead of learning, good morning, Instead of learning how long it takes to fill this thing or anything like that, he just takes off and he might be gone the rest of the day and water squirting out the overflow, just wasting it. So kind of a bummer how that stuff goes. But we see old Rittenhouse, they acquitted him. I'm glad to have seen that, because I remember when I watched the OJ trial, and I loved the juice, I really did. I didn't really watch football or anything, but I listened to it, and same with baseball. I'd listen to it on the radio. I was never one for going to stadiums or anything like that. But I love the juice. What a dude. And I was hoping that it wasn't him. But when I watched that trial, I watched that. It was on daily. It was the regular news. And I think it was 95, something like that. Well, guess what? I watched it. He was guilty. Now, I don't know what trial the jurors saw. I really don't. I haven't the faintest idea, because they saw a different trial than I did. And then I was starting to think, this is what's going to happen to Rittenhouse. They're going to, the prosecutor basically pointed a gun at the jury, intimidation, and then they got MSNBC is getting good pictures of their, they're going after him. So that's a combined effort. A lot of bad things were happening there, and threats and all this stuff against the judge, and just crazy stuff. And I don't know why Black Lives Matter in there, because was there a black guy involved? I don't get except the one that ran up and kicked him in the face, jumping dude or whatever they call him. But I thought, this is going to be an OJ thing. They're just going to go ahead and find him guilty, put him in jail, throw away the key. But in the end, they did the right thing. I didn't watch this trial like I did the OJ. I watched it, in spurts, highlights, you might say. Hey, we've got a right to defend ourselves. It's not like here, where you've got basically no rights at all. Police and the military got all the guns. Most people don't have them. And as a foreigner, you can forget it. you could just forget it. You got to have your sweetie have one, and then that's just how it goes, because they still can have one if most people just don't afford them. Good morning, Igne. Hey, say good morning. But it's a shame, they don't have a Second Amendment here. I don't know what they're afraid of. I really don't. You see the criminals got them here. Criminals got guns. They shoot people in the head all the time when their little nefarious plans don't go right, or somebody doesn't pay. But I always said, if a lot of people have them, you're not going to go around shooting anyone. Everybody gets scared because of the Old West. It was all dime store novel crap. People weren't just going around shooting each other. Now, I do believe if you want to have a duel, back in the Old West, the sheriff got out of the way. If they went out in the street and had a duel, and one guy got killed, it was none of the sheriff's business, because you were free people. Not so free anymore. And with all this, now they got the jab slavery going on. And that's what it is, guys. It's just an enslavement until you're done. You see a lot of people say it's a bio weapon. And it's coming out. It's getting clearer every day that it is. But you got to open up your eyes to this stuff. It's just really amazes me how many people are still asleep. Some of these comments I delete because of these people. They want me dead. I had some guy said they should kill you. Because I'm an anti what. And I'm the reason. And it's like, what happened in this guy's head? What damage happened to this man's head that he can't think for himself? Very, very, very scary what goes on with some of these folks. And they make a big fuss about conspiracy theorists. Well, start checking the boxes, guys. Not such a big conspiracy anymore. It's all coming true. A lot of folks are waking up. News media will hide that, though. they won't let you know that people are waking up right and left on this stuff. But it's a slow process, and that's what morning. Slow process on getting people woke. But imagine, I don't know what's happening with any riots or anything yet. I haven't heard, is it riot season yet? Who knows? But them cops stacking bricks already in Kenosha. This is all Soros-funded stuff. And that's what they want. They want violence and all this crap, just like Hitler did. So, this is just their plan. But the guys are all getting ready for work this morning. Saturday, they're going to be working. They're humping. I showed you yesterday all the new housing starts that are coming, and there'll be more. I'm sure they'll be back again in a van. They bring the people just like they did for us. They bring you out and they stand you in front of the dirt and they put a tarpaulin up and rah rah sis boom ba, and then they get started. But somebody said, it took you 2+ years for your house. At least these guys are getting theirs up quick. But some of these people, the house, I guess I shouldn't complain. Good morning. I shouldn't complain too much because mine only took 2+ years. Some of these people paid when I did, guys. They paid when I did. Now they're pushing into 3 years for this. So they are really slow. I started thinking it's like a Ponzi scheme, the way they do business. I think they get in there and their operating cost sucks up a lot of the money. And they don't have any, so when somebody else pays something, then they keep working. I don't know. I could be way wrong, but that's just the way it seems. The way things move here, it moves in spurts, and they absolutely could care less about the water. They never tell anybody. They never told this young guy over here about it. They know about it. I mean, they 100% know about this. But they're not going to inform anybody. They're not going to say, hey, we want to offer you this, or just put it in the price and do it because of the problems here. But even if you have a pump, you have to have a tank too, because if you don't have the tank, when this joker over here doesn't fill our big tank up, the water shuts off, guys. It shuts off a lot. Now, the other day we had our first power outage in a while. It was a good while between the power outages, and it wasn't that long, 15 minutes or so, that's no big deal. It wasn't too bad, but that's the way she goes. But hopefully before Wes heads out, he's going to be leaving soon. I hope we can get a nice ride in. We were talking about the guy Ty. I think he's trying to get some better mirrors on his bike. Morning, sweetheart. Hi, baby doll. My beautiful little precious, huh? But he's going to get like some bar end mirrors, and I'd like to have a set of those too, because we're kind of wide. It's hard to see behind you. Plus the mirrors when you're filtering through traffic. My mirrors are actually pretty good. I'd say it's the second best mirrors I ever had on a bike for me being able to see behind. The problem is when you're filtering through traffic, I can't go smoothly because they're in the way. I'd love to have some of those ones I could just fold up real quick, so that I can zip through the traffic. I'm getting pretty good at getting through this traffic around here on the bike. The way it's set up now with the sprocket and everything, it's just fantastic. I just need some springs. That would be really something that would help the machine out for me. I don't know where I can get them. I still haven't gone down to that shop down there. I'm going to do it. The original shop sent me an email saying, hey, come in for your service, and I don't want to. There was no way to reply to that message I got. There was no little thing on the bottom, but I don't want to go back to them. They were supposed to check my valves. They were supposed to do this, that, and the other, a whole bunch of stuff that they just never did. So I'm going to go to this full service one that Wes showed me about, and go look at that Tenere 700 again. I think right now, out of a lot of bikes, I do love that CRF 300L. I would love to have that bike, but it's a 300, so I can't get on the highway. But that Tenere, a little bit heavier and all that kind of stuff, but beautiful bike. It's not real wide. it would get me on the highway. And it's just a beautiful bike. I always loved the Yamahas, guys. I love Honda, but the Yamahas, some of the best built bikes I ever had were the Yamahas. Their quality is just far surpassed of anyone else, I think. Just little niggly things that they do. Like I have a little bit of rust on my valve. That could be from the inner tube manufacturer, and they miss that. But generally, they put them together good. You never find loose bolts too much on a Yamaha. You never find stuff that doesn't have Loctite or locking anything on it. I did not like the way they did that sprocket in the back where the nuts weren't captured inside. That just to me was, who the hell designed that, and is that prick still working there? That's all I got to say. That's just absolutely 100% ridiculous how they did that. It wasn't too big of a deal, though. I just had to do it upside down. I had to hold it upside down and fiddle around with it and shake it and stuff to get the nut started. And that was a bummer. But I got the Loctite on there, and then those little tabs that pull up to keep it from coming out. The way I do the chains, I keep them oiled pretty good. I save the old motor oil. A lot of guys say, "Oh, don't do that." Blah blah blah. It's not good for the. Yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. And sometimes when they get greasy like that, if you're running through a monsoon rainstorm, it keeps that water off of them. I always spray them. This one I don't spray all the time, but when I was driving long distances, on some of my bikes, I had spray in the sack that I carried along, and before I'd leave on my next trip, or even when I got there, I'd put it up on the kickstand, get the wheel spinning, and just spray that chain. Took good care of my chains. But I did have a couple bikes where I took care of one chain and did nothing to the other, and they lasted pretty close to the same. So, it's all what you want to do. I just hate the idea of looking at rust on a bike. I did pick up a bike one time. A guy had it for like $50, and it had sat beside his house. He didn't know if it ran or not, but he wanted $50 for it. And I was like, whoa! And it was an oddball. I never did get a title for it, but I did run it around. It wasn't a Norton. It was a BSA. That's the model of bike it was. And I never even knew the CC. I couldn't find too much information on it. I think it was like a 350 or something. And that thing was so covered in rust. Even before I tried to start it, I went through that thing with navel jelly and cleaned it up. And then the dude wanted it back after I cleaned it up. It cleaned up really nicely, and I did get it running. I got that little machine running. It was one of those projects I had in my living room over winter, and when spring came out. But it was a majorly gutless wonder. At the time I had a 350 Honda, and I do think this bike was a 350. I'm not sure, but that 350 Honda would just run rings around it. When the Japanese started making bikes, guys, that was just really something compared to the old British. I had a Bonneville. That one, you brought your tools with you. That damn thing broke down a lot. I didn't get it brand new. I bought it used. And but it just had daily just stuff broke on this thing, And I was talking to a buddy that had one, and he said, "Yeah, but that's the mystique of those bikes. That's what makes them so much fun." Well, guys, that's not fun for me. You know what I want to do? I want to throw a leg over that bike and I want to ride. And then on the weekend or through the week, when I don't have much to do, that's when I'll do my maintenance and stuff. I don't want to do any maintenance out on the road on a bike. I don't even like getting a flat tire. I just don't. So I would like to have tubeless. They do sell spoked rims that are tubeless, so that if you do get a flat, you can just go ahead and hook up, plug it, and it'll get you home. I don't like to keep them. I don't like to keep plugs. Once I got a plug in a bike tire, that tire's gone. But I have this really good compressor now. that would be nice to have a compressor along and a plug kit. But on this bike, I doubt I'll do anything like that. There's too many places here that you can pull over and get them to fix your tire for like super cheap. We had a flat in the tricycle one time, and right up the street was a vulcanizing place, and the guy came down. We got the bike in front of his place. We went about our business and came back, and he had taken the wheel off, fixed the flat, did all the stuff like that, put it all back together, and then and it was like 100 pesos. You just can't beat it. I think we gave him a 100 peso tip. I was just amazed at how cheap that was, and it was a hassle. It takes a long time. That guy spent how much in a day, time out of his day to get that wheel off on a tricycle yet. That's not a easy job. It was the main tire and the drive tire, so that was a little bit of work for him to do all that, and he did a good job. And what I thought was really cool, while he was in there, he wiped everything down. A lot of guys won't do that. They'll do their job and that's it. But this guy, he went underneath there and he cleaned underneath the fender, he cleaned the swing arm, he went through and cleared everything. He put a little bit of oil on the bearings. There's no Zerk fittings on these swing arm bearings, guys. Not that I've seen anywhere. And he went ahead and did that. Just a real good guy. He even cleaned the rims all the way around. I mean, the guy just did a bang-up job for nothing, for a couple bucks. So, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go. We're having an absolutely beautiful morning, and kids are slowly getting up. We're gonna make something rather good to eat this morning. And this is Rickshaw out.